From disappearances that defy explanation to theories that continue to evolve, the stories of those who vanished without a trace remain as haunting as ever. These mysteries may never have clear answers, but they continue to intrigue and puzzle those who seek the truth. What happened to them? Are they still out there, or were they lost forever? If you have any thoughts or theories about these disappearances, share them in the comments below. Who knows, your insight might shed new light on these chilling cases. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and never stop asking questions. Ted Bundy, the charming killer. Ted Bundy. A name that still sends chills down the spine of anyone who hears it. Charming. Charismatic. And an absolute monster. He was able to gain the trust of his victims with ease, his good looks and smooth talk often leading women into situations that would seal their fate. In the mid-1970s, Ted Bundy became one of the most notorious serial killers in American history. Active across several states, Bundy confessed to murdering at least 30 women, though the true number could be much higher. His crimes were as chilling as his persona. He was the kind of man you would never suspect. Bundy's modus operandi was horrifyingly simple. He would approach his victims in public places, usually at night, often pretending to be injured or in need of help. Once he gained their trust, he would abduct them, often taking them to remote areas to commit his horrific crimes. Bundy's crimes weren't just brutal, but calculated. He often revisited crime scenes to further torment his victims, and his ability to evade capture for so long baffled authorities. His charm and intelligence gave him the perfect cover, making him a ghost in the eyes of the police for years. But Bundy's charm was not enough to escape justice. After years of evading police, he was finally caught in 1978. During his trial, Bundy would later confess to the murders, but his true motives are still a subject of debate. What drove Bundy to commit such horrifying acts? Was it a twisted need for control, or something darker? Ted Bundy was executed in 1989, but his legacy continues to haunt us. His case raised questions about the nature of evil and the dangers of underestimating someone who may look like one of us. Some monsters hide in the dark. Others? They hide behind a smile. Meet John Wayne Gacy, the man who played a friendly clown at children's parties by day, and became a sadistic killer by night. Gacy was a respected businessman in Chicago, often dressing up as Pogo the Clown to entertain children. But behind the cheerful mask lurked a terrifying predator. Between 1972 and 1978, Gacy lured young men and boys into his home, promising them work or friendship. Instead, they met a gruesome fate. He would strangle or suffocate his victims, then bury their bodies beneath his own house. Police later discovered the remains of 29 victims in the crawl space under his home. The true horror? He continued living there as if nothing had happened. When he was finally caught in 1978, Gacy showed no remorse. Instead, he painted self-portraits as Pogo the Clown, his sinister alter ego. In 1994, he was executed, but the nightmare he created still haunts the world today. A man who laughed with children and buried them under his feet. Some killers crave control. Others crave death. But Jeffrey Dahmer? He craved something much darker, something unthinkable. Between 1978 and 1991, Jeffrey Dahmer terrorized Milwaukee with crimes so disturbing they still haunt investigators today. His victims? Young men, often vulnerable, often trusting. Dahmer lured them in with promises of drinks, money, or photo shoots. But once they stepped into his apartment, there was no way out. His methods were beyond gruesome. He drugged his victims, strangled them, and then kept parts of their bodies. The horrors hidden in his apartment would later shock the world: skulls in the fridge, severed heads in the freezer, and grotesque photographs of his crimes. Dahmer didn't just kill, he experimented. He tried to turn his victims into living zombies by drilling holes in their skulls and pouring acid inside. His goal? To keep them under his control forever. But what made Dahmer even more terrifying was his eerie calmness. When police finally caught him in 1991, he didn't resist. He simply confessed, in chilling detail. He admitted to necrophilia, cannibalism, and his twisted obsession with preserving body parts. He said he wanted his victims to be a part of him, forever. In court, he showed little remorse. He was sentenced to life in prison, but his punishment didn't last long. In 1994, an inmate took justice into his own hands, beating Dahmer to death in the prison bathroom. For many, it was karma. For others, it was the only way to end the reign of the Milwaukee cannibal. To this day, Jeffrey Dahmer remains one of the most terrifying serial killers in history. A man whose crimes were so horrifying, they sound like fiction. But they weren't. They were real. And they were unspeakable. A serial killer with no name. No face. No identity. Yet, over a century later, his crimes still haunt the world. Jack the Ripper, one of the most infamous murderers in history, terrorized the streets of London in 1888. His victims? Women from the city's poorest districts. His methods? Brutal, surgical, and precise. In just a few months, 5 women were found murdered in Whitechapel. Their bodies were left in horrific conditions, throats slit, organs removed. The killer seemed to have anatomical knowledge, leading many to believe he was a doctor or a butcher. But despite countless investigations, Jack the Ripper was never caught. To this day, his identity remains one of history's greatest mysteries. Who was Jack the Ripper? And why did he suddenly stop killing? We may never know, but his legend lives on, sending chills down the spines of those who dare to walk the streets of Whitechapel at night. He hunted at night, choosing his victims at random and leaving a trail of terror across Los Angeles. Richard Ramirez, better known as the Night Stalker, was a predator like no other. His killing spree in the mid-1980s shocked America and changed the way people thought about safety in their own homes. Between 1984 and 1985, Ramirez broke into dozens of homes, murdering at least 13 people and assaulting many others. His methods were chaotic, sometimes shooting his victims, other times stabbing or strangling them. He showed no pattern, no preference for gender or age. His victims ranged from children to the elderly, making him nearly impossible to predict. Ramirez worshipped Satan, often leaving pentagrams at the crime scenes and forcing his victims to swear to Satan before killing them. The media quickly dubbed him the Night Stalker, and the city of Los Angeles was gripped with fear. He was finally caught in 1985 after a group of civilians recognized him and stopped him from escaping. In court, Ramirez showed no remorse, famously declaring, "Hail Satan," after his conviction. He died in prison in 2013, but his terrifying legacy lives on. These were some of the most brutal and terrifying serial killers in history. Their stories remind us of the darkest depths of human nature. But which one shocked you the most? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Stay safe, and see you in the next one.